Oh, speaking of Burna Boy, I'm gonna go see Burna Boy live in like 2 weeks. So
seeing him in December.
Yeah, I'm seeing him in like a week and a half, 2 weeks. I'll let you people know how that goes.
Don't worry, it's going to be fun.
I already know it's going to be a fun time. I'm so ready to be a Burna fan. You people will not get enough of me on. You can't get rid of me here on that.
For sure.
Day. I will tell you people.
For sure. Speaking of concerts and events, everybody was dressed to the nines to go see
for Asake
Red Bull. Bro, I wish that happened here, but anyway, but I saw a lot of Toronto people made the trip.
People traveled out for the show.
Yeah, people made a trip. Which makes sense.
We got to see Asake in his shaved head and all the glory.
New look.
Yeah, the look was fire. Loved it so much. It was the dancing, the moves, the singing, the guests, Ghana, Friday, Ayodeji Balogun, who else did he bring out? He brought out somebody else. Central C, I think.
Yeah.
He brought out Sench. He brought out, who else? He brought out somebody else.
Bruh.
He brought out plenty of people, Love that for him. They said there were a bunch of people that were there, actors, musicians. They said Daniel Kaluuya was there, safe. Wow. Lovely. I've seen in the past how many days, I've seen different, since yesterday, I've seen different positionings of the video. I've seen from upstairs, from downstairs, from inside the seat, from the corner, from the disc. They had the conductor. Obviously, as a Nigerian, the shows had its issues. They said they started very late.
Really?
There was kind of late, not very late, but kind of late, which is kind of sad for like the location they chose. People were actually dressed up. People looked happy. People looked like they had a time. It looked very beautiful. I love that Asake is doing what he always said he was gonna do. He's putting the work. He has achieved what he's achieving, and he keeps setting goals. Asake always. Somebody was saying that the people are forgetting that Asake is a theater kid, and I'm like 100%, because when you're a theater kid, you put your art is very important to you, and these things matter. But I've seen like a whole bunch of different tiny bits and bobs and things that have made me been like, oh, this is very interesting, and this is another example of Nigeria happening to everybody. Apparently they had set it up where they were going to get a Nigerian designer to design outfits for the entire symphony orchestra and everything.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
what was the name of the brand again? Was his designer that tweeted it?
Ashore.
I think it was Ashore.
Yeah, they do like the Ashoke or something themed outfits. Anyway, there was a whole thing about not being able to get visas.
Yeah.
And then there was the issue of like, okay, even if they can't get visa and come here to dress everybody, they will have to like ship their things. And then there was, with all the tariffs and the government shutdown, there was the issue of customs holding all the items. There were different parts to it, but ultimately everybody that I know that was there had a time. It looked beautiful from every corner, and I am so happy for Asake and his bald head. He has done great things. One of my favorite parts of the show was watching the guys with the talking drums. They were the reason why I brought them up is not even because it's like beautiful scene, beautiful setup, but it was watching the reaction of the people who are obviously American in the symphony, how they were reacting to the talking drums. It was very exciting because you could literally see like one of the girls, I think she had a violin with her or something, and you can imagine as somebody that plays the violin trying to understand the mechanics of how a talking drum works. So beautiful. I love that. And there were just so many exciting parts of it. And I can't wait to see Asake. He previewed some new songs as well.
Previewed new music. 2 or 3. Is it see some new music there?
Excited.
Does that mean we're still getting the album this year?
I don't know about this year. What album?
Yeah, it feels like he shouldn't.
Mr. Money.
but then again,
we're gonna get it.
But then again, it feels like he is gearing up for it, like to drop any moment.
No. The album is coming. I just don't know if it's this year. But it's Mr. Money.
Yeah.
That's the album.
It is. Honestly, it's been quite. Sorry, real quick before Ade goes. I think it's been quite like the year for him because he hasn't necessarily released a lot of music, but you've kind of felt his presence overall. If it's not giving us new looks, is having moments on different shows, different or different platforms to just have newsworthy moments. And that's the long game that I remember seeing Thames playing for I think it was 2023, for the run of 2023, where she barely dropped any material, but you had seen her with nominations, say Oscar nominations, where she was blocking some people's like obstruction in the show. That became a newsworthy moment. She was just showing up on red carpets, had performances, just overall just popping up in moments and building up the brand equity. I think that's exactly what Asake has been on for this year. Of course, it was a huge year of transition for him because after leaving YBNL and having new management, it felt like that was the direction for the years, is just to build brand equity and be as loud as you can without even making music or putting out material. And that's been the objective, and I think he has been smoking it so far. And it's making people, and these moments like this, like the Red Bull moments now, it's making, or even the NPR Tiny Desk, like it's making people really, really want to like take in and appreciate the year or the last 3 years he has had with the last 3 albums. Like it's unheard of. It's things that we are still trying to even make sense of how he was able to achieve all of that in such a short period of time. So it's just him, like, obviously basking in his little legacy, even though it's not even a small, like the legacy he has already, like in a very short time. And I'm so excited, bro. I could not be more excited about an artist and their next chapter and their next wave, because he's given us this year as a breather and a way to really take it in. And I could not be more excited for next year with Asake, bro. But anyway, Ade, what were you saying?
Nah, I honestly I agree with a lot of everything you said. I think it's gonna sound like a weird take to have.
Yeah.
But this is off the height of how he came in and the 2 projects he gave us after sort of his debut. The jury is slightly still out for me in terms of the new management direction. Hold on, not even in the sense of like his sound and where it's gonna go.
Right.
I think because of everything you said, because it's been all the moves outside of music, right?
Yeah,
I think what's eventually going to keep you up there and keep you kind of
afloat
at that sort of revered position is still going to be
the music for sure.
So I think if as I was listening to the symphony and as I was just watching the videos, and a few of my friends were there just like listening to their feedback yesterday and today, I think something that jumped out to me was you start to appreciate the moves on like the ATTWs and the Badman Gangsta. Like you start to like, the songs sound different. It sounds like he already shifted, and we were still kind of like not holding on like from like a desperate position, like how people are holding on to Superstar Wizkid, but like there was still like we're still waiting for that like Mr. Money with the vibe type sound.
Yeah. And
the man is like, nah, I still have the capacity to give you that, and I probably would give you that here and there on like one song every other album, whatever. But like I am elevating to this like different version of this stratosphere, because he just sounded like, you can go deep into his discography and see all of these like really vibey songs. Then you start hearing, like you see Friday behind him and you hear that song and you're like, that's such a polished like, like record. And to feel like, That one is to slow down the auto tune, but that's a story for another day. But yeah, it just felt very it felt very good. And I'm gonna say this, right? Like, you always talked about how we need to expand the big three or the big whatever five, whatever number it is. You can do it in a few different ways. You come in at the right time, you catch fire at the right time in your career, but like in that case, I was talking to somebody before your mic comes and bites my head off, but. I truly believe that one of the two ways, in my opinion, that you can establish yourself in like the upper echelons of anything is either by the sound or either by the right amount of moves at the exact time. Right. And I think Rema did it with the sound. Like people took notice. Were like, oh, like this guy, like with, Rays and Roses, like the performances, with his last album, people are like, okay, like this guy is like stepped into that spot now for sure. And I think with his moves, Asake just announced it this weekend. Like he just like, it was a very like different type of energy. Like not a lot of jumping around, but like just the whole energy around him sitting there and like being in control. It kind of was just like an announcement of like, no, I'm now in the spot. And like, because the way all of the industry was watching, everybody like was not doing something else. This is not like a December show where like this is happening, but there's like David, it was like everybody was looking at this exact thing. And I think even the timing of the Tiny Desk also played into it as well, because not everybody was like sold on that performance entirely, right? And we talked about this a few weeks ago, but from the way it was, just like I think it was Belema that mentioned it, the way people dressed up. I was looking at people online; they felt like they were going to like a very classy event,
bro.
Like,
they did.
And I think that everybody dresses nice to go see, Wiz at MSG or this, like. But this felt like a very like.
It was part of the. It was part of the instructions in the
right? Like, it was one of those of like, this is not your run of the mill. I'm like stepped into my spot, and like now I think this, like I said, where I would cap is the music just now needs to back it up. Like the next thing we hear needs to feel like all of this like energy. And then last, for him, free will, man. I'm so happy that we finally get someone that is going to give us like the person I kind of want to describe him to is like no, don't bite my head when I say this, but it's kind of like how Kendrick pops in and leaves. Like he drops great projects, he captures like a time, and then he's just gone. Yeah. And Asake is just like, you guys are gonna see me in Australia, like learning how to be a zoo master.
I'm gonna be skateboarding, bro.
And it's just gonna, so I'll pause.
Yeah, no, I hear that, bro. There's a level of, and even with what you just said, it just makes me emphasize more on how Asake just exemplifies freedom in a lot of ways. Like it's just so weird from his music standpoint, down to his hobbies, down to his hairstyles. He does not want to be cornered in any way. It's so crazy. And I was like, bruh, that's very, very, I mean, we've seen artists that built like that too as well, but it's quite refreshing to see that in an artist that
it's also kind of, sorry,
go ahead.
It's also kind of nice. It's nice for a season to have an artist that is not like we're in a romantic relationship with this, like his career. Yeah. Like everybody loves what they're seeing. Like it's almost like you want him to win. Like, and it's not, maybe you'd eventually divulge into like, the kind of the toxic big three scenario that we're seeing. But like, maybe it's like the grass to gray situation, but
right. Yeah, I know it's that too.
Like I don't know how people like try to posture it, but like we're all just kind of in love with it at the same time, and there's something refreshing about that. Like it's like, because you start going into like some other people that have like made their way, and you think, some people will argue that Rema had the Maven engine behind it. Right. Some people will argue that Thames is they don't like her enough. But this one is like, we get it. Like everybody likes it for like the art, and like it's nice to just focus on that for a second, and for it to actually be good.
Yeah, for sure.